What's going on, everybody? Well, I'm gonna go type in this message for you guys when you come in, and I'm gonna get started. Yeah, I'm gonna get started as soon as people start arriving. The connection is a little slow, so bear with me. Yeah, so basically, this video, and I'm gonna explain more when people come in. When I see more people arrive, I'm gonna explain more in the video about the topic on how public schools can change child's paradigms. So I'm gonna wait for a few more people, then I'll get started. And anybody that has any questions, feel free to ask. And and yes, I'm doing some coaching, some free coaching for a half hour. So you can definitely join and subscribe to my channel. And when you subscribe to my channel, I'll just share with you just additional videos like this. And I'm gonna make sure that you guys get the best videos. But this video in particular is a subject that I want to talk about for a while, for a long time. And basically on just the public schools in general, you know, it's a good and bad to everything. But again, this topic I'm gonna focus on more so on how when children, when they have a dream, when they want to be an astronaut, or they want to be a fireman or police officer or superhero, well, basically they have these dreams. They dream about these fantasies or these careers that they want for pretty much a good amount of their childhood. But what I'm going to how I run interference and say that public schools, they interfere with how children think. And for the most part, I was going to get into number one really quick with you guys, to start it out. And what, well, let me go over my experience because I don't want to just spew information, but from my experience, basically school basically just, it had me feeling lost. It had me feeling insecure about myself. I made friends. I learned things. I was good at English, but math I sucked at completely. I can't do math, no sir. I could do algebra too, but that's the highest I can go. I can't do any more than that. Can't ask me. I ain't gonna do it. It's too hard for me. But that's not where I want to go. That's not my path. I always like English. I always like history. But the way school affected me, well, I don't want to bash it, but it basically had me in a place of being closed up and locked in, being afraid to say what I want and being really introverted, so you become shy, you actually you don't become you become something else, something that's below your standards. Um, I was shy growing up and things like that, but you kind of felt that this was how it's supposed to go, how this was supposed to be done. We don't know any better. But before I get into any deep conversations, I'm gonna start off with number one really quick for you guys, so I'm not keeping you too long. But basically, with number one, which is children are told to pay attention out of scarcity. Yeah, children are told to pay attention out of scarcity. You know, for example, You don't pay attention, you're going to go in the corner, or you're going to stay after class. Or if you don't pay attention, I'll call your mom and your daddy and have them handle what they want to handle with you, and take action from there. This is all threats, threats to pay attention and things like that. Which I don't blame the teacher. I don't blame. I'm not putting any pressure on them. They didn't create this whole source. You know, all this was basically created for workers. You know, basically farm workers that didn't want to work 16 hours a day decide that they want to work in a factory and get paid hourly, and also on top of that, work an 8-hour shift. And who wouldn't take that deal? Who wouldn't? That's how it really started. That's how the trend started. Farm workers didn't want to work the 16-hour days. So that's the path that they wanted to pursue. And that's how this whole change came about with the school system and things like that. But that's for another video. But for this video, I'm talking about the children and just how it affects them, and how scarcity and paying attention in class and scarcity, how they put that scarcity on children. Understandable, yes. If I was a teacher, I would want people to pay attention to me speak, yes. But also what you gotta really realize is that the thoughts that the children had for those few years, 4 years, 5 years, before kindergarten, they don't stop having the thoughts. I'm just saying, like, when they step foot into school and things like that. Even if you're 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, if you're in that in your grade school, that's kind of the peak of education. But yeah, if you're in that bracket, that age bracket, you're still dreaming. You're still wanting to pursue that fantasy, that dream, that career that you want. So what happens is that over time, being brainwashed in school, being brainwashed to do this and that, basically your paradigm is going to switch, because you aren't thinking for you now, you're thinking for them. You're doing what they say, and things like that. You're required to take calculus too, or well, calculus is not required, but what I mean. You're required to take all these classes. Math is a qualification. They'll say, like, oh, it's a qualification to take PE, excuse me. It's physical education is required. So they have these requirements, and that steers the mind the wrong way. It steers the children the wrong way to migrate. They have no choice but to migrate towards those requirements, and actually, because every day for 5 days, weekends off, 8 days, 8 hours out of the day, for what, 12 years, you start school at 5 or 6, yeah, like 12 years of your life. That's extra brainwashing. But we're on the subject of children, so I'm gonna stay in the age bracket, probably up to like 11 or maybe 10 or 11 or 12. But it's like, even through those years, you still kind of feel it wear off a little bit. You feel the fantasy wear off a bit when you're like 12 or 13, or you get peers, you get people that make fun of you for wanting to do this and that. And then your mind changes. You're like, oh, I don't want to do this and that no more. I don't want to be that police officer no more. I don't want to be the space, be in space no more, be an astronaut, because so and so, my peers made fun of me, and I don't want to do it no more. Now, the problem I have with school at times is that they don't have classes on self-esteem, how to build your self-esteem. They don't have classes on money, how to invest your money. But of course, we learn that later on, or whoever you're around. If you have parents that know that, then they'll teach you. But overall, the bottom line is is that you're thrown to the wolves. At a young age, we're thrown to the wolves, and we have no choice but to abide by the rules. If we don't get that diploma, we don't get the education, we don't get the job we wanted, and things of that nature. So, yeah, we gotta abide by the rules. And using scarcity to punish a kid for having a fantasy in their head, having a dream in their head, it's going to crush their self-esteem. And they have to realize that. They have to realize that it is a self-esteem crusher to not allow a person to dream big. And when you're cutting up, see, that becomes programming after a time. Like if a child keeps being told to pay attention, pay attention, then it's going to be subconscious. It's going to be a habit to where that child is going to pay attention without even noticing it. It's just going to be just like a flip of the switch. He's going to just pay attention and forget about the goals and dreams that they had. They're going to block it off completely. They're going to be like, okay, I'll get in trouble out of scarcity. They're like, oh, I'm getting in trouble if I say this and that, or not this, but like if I think this and that, or if I don't pay attention, there's going to be consequences. So out of scarcity, yes, I will pay attention. I don't want to get kicked out of school, kicked out of class, whatever. I'll pay attention. So that's how they corner you. And it's really crazy, but that's how it goes. What can you do? And number two, pretty much I'm gonna move into this one. It's called the focus isn't on what they want to do, but to follow a system and take certain classes. So kind of what I was kind of explaining, but not too deep, like children should be allowed to choose the class, not the classes they want. Like they can take the math and the science, all that stuff, but they can facilitate and have them actually choose a class or classes that that appease to their liking, that they want to, what they want to do for their life. They should have a class or a course that's relative to what they want to do with their life. So giving them that head start. If you give children that head start of having them pick classes that they want to pick, still take the math, science, and all that. And by the way, some of those skills you don't really need. You don't really need some of these skills in the real world. Like when they teach you Roman numerals, come on. Where are you going to learn? Why would you need that information? Why would you need to know about Roman numerals or all this other stuff? Why would you? I never really understood things like that, to where, we have to learn that. Science, I'm okay with that. I never had a problem with science. History, don't get me started with that. And well, gym is okay. PE is cool. It's a good way to stay healthy and things like that, and move around. Have the children move around. Keeps them out of trouble. If they're wasting their energy, they're moving around. They're going to be worn out. They're going to be healthy. And kind of push their momentum higher, because you're working. When you're working out, it sends it helps you think clearer, and it's going to help them in their motivation. So gym, I never had a problem with gym. And yeah, so I think it's just only fair, in my opinion, and I guess most people they think the same thing, is that children, instead of feeding them to the wolves, especially when they graduate at age 18, most people don't know what they want to do. Most kids, they don't know. So if you give the kids a head start in school, grade school, they will have an idea of where they're going, because if you're shutting out their thoughts out of scarcity, saying pay attention. So pay attention really means stop dreaming. That's what that means. Pay attention. When a teacher says pay attention, that means stop dreaming. So what what you really want to do, pretty much, is just it's like I mentioned in other videos, just surround yourself with like-minded people. But we don't know that information in grade school and high school. Um, you know, we're told by our parents to not hang out with certain people, but we hang out with them anyway because I don't know, we're not going to get caught, so we hang out with the people your parents or your aunts, uncles tell you not to hang out with. So that's down the drain, So children, they don't really listen to people when they say don't hang around with Craig or Frank or this person that they like to be around. Like, these are friends. I don't have friends, I like to be around and things like that, and you know, friends that light things on fire that seem cool, you know, things like that. And your parents don't want you to associate with those people, which is understandable. It's they don't want you to get burned up. But pretty much at the end of the day, um, children aren't really taught enough um, to really propel themselves and prepare themselves for high school. And I remember when I was in high school, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do at all. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I always thought, like, dang, I think 10th grade, I started, maybe, or 11th grade, I started really thinking about it. It's getting close to graduation. So, yeah, I'm thinking about it then, but they don't teach us to think about it sooner. I think that would really help a lot of people. I think that will help, not only will help children's self-esteem, number one, but number two, you'll have a clear path of what you want to do. Very clear path. And if you have this thought process of shutting down thoughts, having the teacher shut us down, um, it's repetition at the end of the day. It's repetition, because if we're not learning about money, finance, or how to get a job, you know, which will be really helpful if children knew how to get a job, if they knew how to write a resume. Why not? It's 8 hours in the day. It's really is no excuse. It's 8 hours in the day. Got your math, you got your whatever, you got your lunch, your recess, whatever, and you could fit in a couple of classes of motivation or finance, but I get it. It's a system. They go by what they go by, and who am I to question it? I guess, um, but heck, the way I see it is, why not question it? Why not question anything? Because if you don't question, don't question anything, then you become a drone. You become a walking, talking drone that just listens to everybody, but you don't have your own say. So that's not going to make children a great leader. You know, we see they need to really bring up more leaders. They need to teach children how to be a leader. Worker is fine to start out with. We it's fine, but what about if they lose their job? What it like? How about teach them how to be a business owner? How about classes that teach you that how to how to start your own business? Or maybe if the child is, the children are still young, 8 or 9 years old, maybe they want to learn how to start a lemonade stand or a business, just something small for them. Like have them make money, have children make money at a young age, have them set up a lemonade stand, have them do whatever, you know. Not all children are going to do that, but it just, I guess it's a good thought, you know. But yeah, it's crazy, you know. Now going to number three, self-esteem. Yeah, self-esteem is compromised, and most children become shy, get bullied, etc. So my question is, I'm gonna close it out with this one. So my question is, how do you become motivated with low self-esteem? It's pretty hard. It's pretty damn hard to be motivated with low self-esteem. And it would definitely be nice to know that, to be taught that. I think having a motivation speaker come to the school, um, or just somebody, and they do come in some schools. I'm just saying, like, have somebody, it doesn't have to be a special guest. It could just be somebody that works at the school that just give the kids philosophy about life. That's it. Philosophy about life, what you need, like I mentioned, how to get a job, how to open up a business, how to trade stocks. But yeah, I don't want to get off topic on number three, but I want to mention that being bullied, which I was a victim of being bullied. I was overweight, from the time I was overweight from the time I was I think 11, 12 or 13, something like that. And yeah, at the time I was overweight, it was easy pickings, because even though I fought back and things like that, and that don't help, to fight back and get you. And now we're all kicked out of school, So it was just, it's something I had, you know, it's like I wasn't gonna stand there and be bullied, So I think I think most kids that get bullied, they don't actually some kids don't recover from that. It's hard to get bullied, to get called names, to get called chubby, fat, things like that. The names I got called. Um, I didn't really start developing a sense of humor until I was like maybe 12 or 13, for maybe my teenage years. But yeah, I took that personally. If someone talked about, how fat I was, I took it personally. And yeah, it's like it's hard to be motivated when you're when you're it's hard to be motivated when you're constantly shy. It's hard to be motivated when you don't speak up. See, that was me. I was just afraid, of what people might say about me. if I spoke up, if I said something, just avoid the conflict. But for the most part, they really should have something for self-esteem. Like maybe like a class on it. Yes, um, a class on it would definitely be great, but it will also be great if the teacher can also just say something to them. No, actually, some teachers do. There's teachers I know that are great teachers, um, that go above and beyond. But I guess I'm saying like have a specific subject on self-esteem, or just have a class called philosophy motivation class or something. Just something that they need to fall back on if they're getting bullied or they're getting tortured. They need something to fall back on. They need a philosophy, um, a gateway through the heavens to get somewhere positive instead of just always getting bashed and made fun of. And there's no solution. There needs to be a solution. I know the teachers are aware of it. I know teachers are aware that there's bullies. There's people picking on the students. They have Be a Star, the anti-bullying campaign, which is awesome. Um, well, with the homeschool going on, I don't see it happening right now. But I'm just saying this: they did something, but it it really should be a campaign, like something in the school instead of just the campaign coming to the school. It should be something like the bullies. They're not going to stop bullying. They're not going to stop. So then it needs to be constant assistance. You know, for that. Yes. So yeah. So basically, I'm gonna close with that. And and yes, let me recap and go over the three the three reasons why public schools change paradigms. To recap, children are told to pay attention. Excuse me. Children are told to pay attention out of scarcity. Let me correct that. Children are told to pay attention out of scarcity. It blocks out what they want to do. As soon as the teacher says, "Hey, you pay attention. You want to go in the corner? Time out." All that fear, that is so much fear. All that fear, all that anxiety, you know, pay attention or you're going to go in the principal's office. That's going to bring fear. And that's going to make you like not think about nothing. It's going to be like, okay, after a while, that dream is going to die, from those habits of paying attention, you know, I guess pay attention enough where you don't get kicked out. But when you have a dream, when you have something you want to go after, you're going to think about it a lot. So, yeah, there goes that. you know. Now, number two, I want to recap and say the focus isn't on what they want to do. See, that's the problem. The school system, the focus isn't on what they want you to do, but to follow a system. So, yeah, number two, to recap, it's not what you wanted. Like they don't program things. They don't have classes to be geared towards what you want to do, but they want you to follow a system. So they want you to follow a system and make you do what they want you to do. I mean, make them do what you don't want to do, which is focus on your dreams and follow a system. That's what that is. Number three, let's recap and go over self-esteem, how self-esteem is compromised, and most children become shy and get bullied, like I mentioned. So, so yeah, there needs to be constant attention for students, especially getting bullied every day. Bullying doesn't take a day off, so there needs to be constant attention towards that particular topic. And I'm getting all these pop-ups happening right here. Excuse me. Um, yeah. So yeah, basically they need something, you know, like constantly, you know, around the children. They need a program. Not be a star is cool, like I said, but it ain't constant. It ain't. The children need something. But yeah, that's it for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share this video to whoever you think will benefit the most from this. And yeah, there's links down below. Make sure you make sure you visit my pages down below. Sign up to my Facebook group, and also purchase my book, Steer Towards the New You. It's on Amazon on sale, so make sure you purchase that as well. Should be free, but you have to cancel the subscription, and then after that it'll be like $4.99. But I know if you read it and you like it, you'll buy it. And yeah, like I said, subscribe to the channel. I have more content every week, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you in another video.